Hello again, folks. Here we go again. First look at the weekend's racing for the Money Rider lads. Again, we got some fantastic racing to look forward to, haven't we, lads? As it would seem so far right now.
Absolutely, cracking racing.
Not just to mention here, but also over in Ireland as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some awesome horses out at the moment on paper, as we say. Could change. We all know it might, but right now, yeah, there's some awesome racing out there. So. We'll have a little talk about Tiger Roll after we've given you some selections. We'll start off with the BetFair Chase being the biggest race of the weekend. So that's where we'll start our focus, lads. Sean, I have a feeling you would have picked one in that. So let's go over to you first of all, and you can get the ball rolling.
Yeah, no worries. I know Mark's keen on this because I believe he's the only other one out of us four that's gone for a pick in the Haydock Chase this week. I am going for Lost in Translation.
Yeah, good lad.
7-4 favourite. I'm not saying it's imaginative, but on paper, he's a fantastic jumper fresh. We know how he did last year. Come out, had a race before the Haydock Chase last year where his jumping was impeccable. Stalked Bristol De Mai the whole way round, and started what looked like was going to be a very decent season for him.
Yeah.
All right, the Gold Cup didn't work out as planned. There could be many reasons for that. Yeah. But that Haydock course, this Haydock Chase could make it his own over the next few years, like Bristol De Mai has, like the younger protagonist coming through, so to speak. It is his jumping around there just seems to thrive, at that track. The ground's going to suit down to a T. Tizzards now coming into form. There's a lot of positives for this horse and very few negatives. Yes, Bristol De Mai still running in it, the old head, who we know has made his stomping ground for years. But there comes a time where that passes, doesn't there? And maybe the torch is now starting to pass down. And Clan Des Obeaux, obviously, King George winner in there, you can't rule him out, but going fresh. Again, it's another case of they've got bigger targets.
Yeah.
They need a pipe opener for it. This could be the perfect run. It's not to say he can't win it, that's for sure, because this is a very capable horse who have put many in his place. I just think going fresh, Lost in Translation with the Tizzards in form, for me, I'm going to stick with a horse that I've loved for the last couple of years. So, Lost in Translation in the BetFair Chase.
You certainly won't hear any disagreements from me because I think it's a fantastic horse. As you say, it just didn't, sort of the wheels fell off a bit, didn't it? And something didn't go right. Which was really disappointing because I think you and I both hoped for a good run in a Gold Cup, and it just didn't materialise, and it was a shame because I think it was primed, or it seemed like that anyway. So
it wasn't even that case where it kind of was somewhat underwhelming. The King George last year never seemed to settle in the race. Then when he did seem to start to get motored, he seemed to bank one of the fences, completely took the wind out of it, and got pulled up, I believe, anyway. Wasn't going to win, but there was a lot of disappointments. I believe coming fresh again, I think this will start another good, what could be another good season for this.
So fingers crossed this year. You know what I mean? It can get this under his belt and then kick on.
Yeah.
And sort of show everybody what some of us do think about it. So
yes, indeed.
The only thing is Bristol De Mai is always the eye and the ointment. He always does.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't rule any out in that race. Again, a small field, but. For me, my first one will be Lost in Translation.
Okay. Your second choice then, mate?
Yeah, my second one, I'm going to go for 3:15 handicap chase, Ascot. I'm going to go for Capeland, 11-2, 6-1 in places, I believe. Now, we know his Ascot form is brilliant. Other than his run, I think it was a few weeks ago, never seemed to settle under Bryony Frost and then fell 6 out, I believe, or 6 or 5 out. Never really seemed to enjoy the jumping. I don't know whether that's the first time out issue or whatever the situation may be. Never seemed to settle. Cobden's on it this time because obviously Carver will be riding Magic Saint, I believe, that will be going off favourite in that race. Possibly, obviously, we don't know. But obviously, there's a lot in this race that have potential chances. You've got, is it Ibello for Venetia Williams?
Yes.
Who comes second in the race that Capeland fell in, and obviously the eventual winner of that race, where it was almost like a shoulder in it. Is it a Mellow Gold or a Mono Gold for the Skeltons? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
I'm
sure that was the race. And Melo Gold wins Billo's second for in that race where Caitlin fell.
A Mula Gold or a Mela Gold or whatever.
Apologies for that.
Mula Gold,
I do believe Caitlin's capable of better things. And at the moment, with Harry Cobden on board, he's like the man with a golden touch. The horse loves Ascot, runs very well there. You know, dismissed the last form, never seemed to settle. If he can get him into a rhythm, there is a good jumping ability in that horse that's proven. I think at 11 to 2, 6 to 1, I think it's a fantastic price. So Capeland in 3:15 for me. Yeah, Ascot.
But if I remember rightly, I think it was Capeland with Bryony on board that day that I lost that that decent bet on that day where she just opened the door. And it was literally the last one I needed across the line. But it wasn't to say that he didn't battle hard enough. I think she just left the door open. And second grasp the opportunities, as simple as that. It wouldn't put me off back in the horse again.
Race prior,
I just think in that particular race, so it was a little while back now, but I just think that in that particular race, I think Bryony just left the door open and didn't quite put it to bed, and that was enough for the other horse to sort of grab the opportunity.
Yeah, and like I say, with Cobden on board, and you've got a course and distance winner there. I think it's a good jumper when it's in form, and obviously as long as the fall last time out didn't do any sort of lasting sort of damage going into this race, then Capeland for me, 11 to 2, 6 to 1 in places, 3:15 at Ascot.
Okay, fair enough. All right then. Well, again, in the interest of entertainment and head-to-heads, I believe you've got one in the BetFair Chase as well, Mark.
I love going head-to-head. Okay, so Sean, mate. Pretty much agreed with a lot of your stats in Lost in Translation, but I'm going head-to-head with you, and I'm going with the Nigel Twiston Davies' Bristol De Mai. As reiterating to what you said, it ran a competitive race in it last year to coming second to the winner, Lost in Translation, with the ever-improving Frodon back in third and Ballyoptic, who finished fourth. And that was only a 4-run field last year. Again, going back to what you say about certain horses with certain targets, I think Clan Des Obeaux, for me, it's got other targets in heading for the King George at Kempton on Boxing Day, but at the same time can't rule the horse out. It's highly capable of winning that race. As you say about form, the form card is with Lost in Translation. It was, to me, it was running well. There's a few little blips in last year's King George. I think if it wasn't for that, then I think it would have stood more of a chance on winning it last year. And also ran a very good race in the Gold Cup, which was it third, I believe. Finished behind Santini and Auburn Photo. So as far as form goes, it's with Lost in Translation, but ground conditions I think is perfect for Bristol De Mai, and I think that it's not got as much to aim for as I believe what Lost in Translation and Clan Des Obeaux would. Tactics would have to be on point, to have to jump a little bit more fluently, because when Lost in Translation does get in the rhythm, in the groove, then it's an unstoppable horse. It's fantastic to watch. The same with Clan Des Obeaux and Bristol De Mai. But, there's... I always love to have a little bit of competition, Sean, as you very well know. So I'm siding with Bristol De Mai. I think,
it is an interesting point, Mark. As you say, at the end of the day, some of them other horses in that race, you'd be hard pushed not to believe that they've got other targets.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. We all know, it's obviously like the first run. Bristol De Mai in, I believe, just over 250 days, where he also ran in the Gold Cup, and I think it finished 9th, I believe. That wasn't a great performance. But as Sean said, Tizzards just started to hit a bit of form. Nigel Twiston Davies hasn't quite hit the ground running yet. But I feel it's a great opportunity in a 5-run field. Ran in it last year, performed well. But Lost in Translation is, to me, the horse to beat. I believe is very much beatable. I'm sorry, Sean. But I say Clan Des Obeaux as well. You know, and we also can't really rule out the other two runners as well. Stranger things have happened. But for me, Sean, I'm sorry, mate. I'm going against you.
Not a
and
problem.
I'm going for Team Twiston Davies and Daryl Jacobs. So it's Bristol De Mai in the first.
Okay, mate.
In my next selection, I'm going over to Ascot in the 205, the Chanel Farmer 1965 Chase, Grade 2, over 2.5 miles, and I'm going with Imperial Aura. This is a very light race 7-year-old who's had 6 wins from its last 10 runs. It was an impressive win back at the festival, beating the likes of Galvin, Haldano, Champagne Court, and many other horses in that race. It's had a 236-day break, and it only ran 20 days ago when it won a listed race at Haydock on heavy ground conditions, beating, I believe, Windsor Avenue. Travelled well, jumped really well, had to be shaken up on the second last, but then progressively won and won comfortably.
Won by 2.5 lengths.
Yes, I believe. Yeah, Kim Bailey, good form. David Bass on board, I believe.
Not too sure Bass again, by looks of it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the odds at the moment. I don't think the odds have been actually released for that one as of yet.
No, it doesn't look like it at the minute.
No, but I think it's a lightly raced horse. It's in. I think it's open to a lot more further improvement. And again, like you say about where horses could go, I think that it's another build up to Cheltenham, where this horse will go at the festival next year. I don't know. Obviously, it's still wide open for a lot of runners at the moment. But I feel it stands a good chance. I think it's the same race as Itchy Feet, I believe. Or I might be thinking of another race.
Itchy Feet is in there at the minute.
Yeah. And
I know Itchy Feet has got a couple of entries, but you know, as you say, quite where they end up, we don't know just yet. But
no, well, Itchy Feet was one that I was actually looking at for that particular race, but I've sided with Imperial Aura on its recent form. So, my two selections: Bristol De Mai in the Betfair Chase, and 205 Ascot Imperial Aura.
Okay, fair enough. Go on then, Jamie. We'll go over to you next.
Okay. For me, Saturday selection, I've bottled the Betfair Chase, so I've just don't want to do that one. I know it's just a bit of a small field, but I've gone for the Haydock 1:15, 2 miles, 2 furlongs, and the important 191 yards, handicap hurdle class 2, and I've gone for T Clipper, even though I've just found out he's been another entry at Ascot in the Grade 2 race. I'll come to that. He's obviously he's beaten Flash the Steel in the Silver Trophy, like we've seen, like I said before, in Chepstow by 2 1/4 lengths. Was impressed by winning on that, and also with the slight drop in trip, that should suit him, because of the actual stamina and also with the soft conditions. Obviously, he'll also he's won on good to soft at Warwick and Huntingdon before, so the cutting ground soft conditions will help him. So I'm hoping for T Clipper, trained by Tom Lacey. Tom Lacey's a very good trainer. I'm not sure who's going to ride him if he does go to Haydock, but it's a hard race if he does go to Ascot, in my mind, in the Grade 2.
Well, you've got so many good rides about. It's who's going to ride them? They can't all ride them all. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly. But when I looked in the race as well, because it's going to be a big field, I think. I reckon it's going to be about a good 20 runners or 18 runners. There's another horse that will be a main danger, and if declared, is on the wild side, who's trained by Dr. Newland. He's got form and soft conditions, and he's won twice at Hexham, so that's a bit of a tough course to win, especially on soft conditions. So T Clipper for me for each way, and for main danger on that particular same race is on the wild side.
Okay, mate.
And then on for me second selection, which will be the Ascot 240, the Core Hurdle Grade 2, 2 mile 3 furlongs. And this one is for an each way selection, and that's at 13-2. Song for Someone, who's trained by Tom Simons. He's run at Ascot before on heavy conditions, finishing second. He's the side for Medition, so he'll love the soft conditions, and also he's got plenty of stamina as well, so he can go up that Ascot Hill, which is a slight incline. His last race was 273 days. He won at Kempton, and he beat Darju Du Shamil, Paul Nicholls, by half a length.
Yeah.
So he should do really well. And with the strong pace and that, and he has got a bit of course form at Ascot as well. So that's for my each way selection at 13-2.
Jamie, just quickly on that one. Do you think that horse's ability, because obviously that's currently a 5-6 runner, is that the one? That's Call Me Lord, that's Gosh and Lorena. Do you think that horse has got the ability then, placing wise, to break into that, what you'd class as the top three?
Yeah.
I know it finished top two, but in the betting, the top three.
I've seen Song for Someone, and he's running that particular grade, and he's coped it really well.
Right.
I think he's got that ability. He should break through it. Song for Someone. With Goshen, not particularly sure, because I've just found out with Ascot, soft conditions, can he cope with it? You're trying to find him, see if he's going to handle hurdles again, and he's had a bit of issues on the flat, and he's just not bombed out, but he's just not he
ain't quite reached the heights, has he? Last time,
at the moment, and obviously, with that particular, it wasn't a jockey mistake or a horse mistake. It was just one of them things where at Cheltenham where
it was a freak accident, wasn't it? In all due respect,
it's one of them that any power freak accidents. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not blaming both of them or anything. It's just one, and I think it's just dented his confidence. I think.
Yeah, but you would, like we're saying, the unknown entity of Goshen. We don't know what Lorena's capable of now in Nicholls' yard, so we don't know. So on that sort of basis, Song for Someone at a price is actually not a bad shout.
No, it's not
going into
shout,
so many unknown entities.
Yeah, and he's got the experience as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got. I think he's a 6 or 7 year old. I'm not. I'm not. I have to look that up. But he's got the experience. For it. I mean, all right. He's had a few targets and he's missed them from last year. He could have been. He could have run it at Cheltenham in March, but obviously it didn't. That didn't. Come about. So hopefully they've started again and trying to aim for that particular target at Cheltenham. But I mean, you just look at Ascot and you just look at for his form, and he's enjoying it on soft conditions, especially with his side, the Medition, because they love soft conditions.
Soft grounds, yeah, perfect.
Yeah. There you go, Glenn.
Right. Fair enough. Right. Well, for me, now I'm slightly cheating here because I picked this one the other week, but it caught my eye the decision that between two horses, but not for me, but for the jockey. My first is Flick O'Voyo again for Paul Nicholls in the 1 mile 7 2:10 at Haydock. Takes on stablemate Time White. He's actually rated a bit higher, 141 as opposed to 137. So not a lot in it, but he's rated higher. Time White has actually ran in 2 Class 1s, juvenile hurdle back in 2019, on soft finished second, and then went to the festival last year, or this year, should I say, Fred Winter, and failed to fire and came 15th. So, that it's really going to be a question of probably who does Harry Cobden on the day, if he's got the choice of the 2 rides, who's he going to go for?
I suppose Flick O'Voyo as well at the moment is the horse showing more progression. I mean,
it seems to, for me,
breeds confidence.
It's on the way up. It's literally, it is on the way up, as the way I see it. And as you say, Sean, he hasn't ran. He's only ran in 3s and 4s, but I just think it's obviously going in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
as I say, Time White has had a reappearance run and won at Chepstow on the 9th of October. The ground should suit both. The trip should suit both. So it's going to be a really interesting decision to see which one he sits on.
Yeah.
If he's got the choice. If he's got the choice, we don't know.
10 o'clock tomorrow morning, you'll be refreshing Racing Post.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So who knows that? As I say, I think that Flico Voyo at the moment just doesn't seem to show any signs of slowing down.
No, good.
I just think it's going in the right direction. And I'll be quite surprised if Harry doesn't stay on board, personally. That might upset the owners of Time White, but I think Harry will be maybe of the similar opinion that this horse is going in the right direction. Then he stands a better chance of winning. So, as we all know, no dead certainties in racing, but I just feel that that's the way it might pan out. Like Jamie, I have actually dodged the BetFair Chase as much as I like Lost in Translation. Shut up, Mark.
You say nothing.
No, I saw the look. Don't worry. But as much as I want Lost in Translation to win, I didn't. I dodged that one myself. I've gone for one again, maybe a little bit slightly on the outfield. I've gone for Abbey Magic for Henry de Bromhead. In the 2 mile 1 furlong 3:15 at Ascot. Now the reason why I say maybe it's a little bit left field, I think it's 13-2 at the moment. There is a few odds for this race with Bet365. It's 13-2 at the moment. Now it's normally being campaigned over in Ireland, so it would seem that this year certainly is the first attempt in the UK. So. Is she going to travel all right? Who knows? If it's a first time long distance travel, then maybe that might upset or something. We just don't know.
Yeah.
But she's won 4 of her last 5 chase attempts, all over around about the same trip and distance. Normally Rachel Blackmore rides,
of course. Yeah.
But of course she's over in Ireland and they're coming over to the UK. Bryony's booked, so let's be honest, you can't really sort of say any more safer pair of hands, really. We all know Bryony gets a tune out of nearly every ride she jumps on, so
get your money's worth.
I just think it could be a little bit of a smash and grab, that's all. Given how well it's gone in chases. Pardon?
Do you think it will suit Ascot, the actual the traditional Ascot course? It's not undulating or anything like that.
As I say, Jamie, it's who knows really? You know what I mean? It's obviously not run at anything like Ascot. So we don't really know, but it's all like it is a bit of a stab in the dark in terms of will it handle Ascot? Will it like Ascot? And will it handle the travelling and stuff like that? So we'll have to just see on that one, really. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a stab in the dark, but I just think, given on current chase form and the fact that Bryony's booked as well, it's not like they've gone for, an inexperienced jockey. So if anyone can sort of carry on Rachel's good work, you'd expect Bryony to be able to do so.
Oh yeah, she's more than capable.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's my 2. Just before we go on to Tiger Roll, has anybody got a little Brucey bonus they want to give a mention to, or not, or save it?
I'll probably be finding something on the Friday. I just need, when you, like you said, over this weekend there are so many decent runners and so many, and they've got 3 or 4 entries here, there, and everywhere. So I'll be looking over in Ireland. There's a good couple of races there for Saturday, but
there's some awesome racing there. If what happens on paper goes ahead, sort of thing. So, Jamie or Mark, you got anything?
Yeah,
I think I'll be the same.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh right.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark. I mean, I've got one which is a Brucey bonus stroke, one to watch. That will be for the Naas at the 2 mile 3 furlong maiden hurdle first race. And I've just seen all the entries and appreciated trained by Willie Mullins. He's in now, so hopefully he will get declared for that race, even though it's at soft to heavy. But I'm thinking once he's his bumper runners that he finished second in the champion bumper at Cheltenham, try and get some experience over hurdles and compete for the Supreme for March. So hopefully he might be out there and get declared for that race, and I'll keep an eye on that on Saturday.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I was going to throw a little one in there. I would say I'm not, haven't gone into great depth look at it, but I quite like the look of Good Boy Bobby in the 150 BetFair Exchange Chase. Again, trip would suit. It looks quite tough. You got Dashel Drasher, that Darjan de Karak or Karjak or something. Itchy Feet Mark is actually on the card on the screen. Obviously, whether that happens or not, you got Windsor Avenue. So it looks quite a tough race, but I think the reason why I'd probably go with Good Boy Bobby is, just sort of relatively match fit compared to some of them. Yeah. So yeah, like I say, not a massive amount of thought gone into it in that respect, but yeah, just look to
one to keep an eye out for then, basically.
So yeah, more of so a bit Brucey boners, but just more of a interesting look,
keep an eye
just to see, So okay, all right, well there we go. That's a few selections from all us. Like I say, I'm sure we'll all. You won't be the only one, Sean, that has a look over in Ireland. I'm sure we all will do. So we'll get a shout up on Twitter for that. So then, lads, we'll have to start with Sean, won't we? Tiger Roll, should he be retired or not?
Look, we obviously, or I spoke to you a lot about this and chose to do the poll on Saturday about this. Now, it was one of those that it wasn't me coming out and saying, look, should he be retired? Yes or no? Like it's end of. Yeah, it was a point of reasons why. I feel they need to be careful with the horse itself. Like there was someone, I think it was Grant Thomas said that who tweeted on ours, and he made a valid point, and he said, not all horses like to be retired too soon. Yes, Tiger Roll is only 10. I'm not saying age is against him. I'm not saying he's too old and they need to rest his weary bones. It's and they sometimes, it is, quite bad for the horse if they do retire too early, because like you said, the whole regime, the whole going to races and running in that hype, they do miss that. They do thrive off it. You know that, and it, it could be contradictory to the horse's health if they retire him too early. The whole point of it is let's face facts. This is a reasonably small horse in certain respects. The small horse with the big heart, as everyone calls it now. To be running the races that the horses run would have taken its toll on anyone.
Yeah.
Now, yes, my feelings towards it's one of those I really, over the years has been great to watch. Has put in a shift, and I'm not saying that it needs to be retired, but should the thought of retirement be there over the next coming months? Yes, I do believe it is. We know now that they've come forward and said they're going to put him away in a box spring. So obviously the idea is to keep going. We know that.
Yeah.
But how many chances do you give a horse like that before, I'm not saying accidents will happen, and it could happen in any race. It could happen to any horse. I'm not saying any horse's life is above and beyond others. You look at it from an owner's point of view, from a trainer's point of view, they've got this trophy of a horse that has done what it's done over the years. Now, would you want to see it fall out of love with racing and then run its last couple of races and end up 10th, 9th?
Yeah.
The tail end of his record, would you want that blemishes on there just for the sake of still running it?
It would be a shame to tarnish the amazing work that he's done. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he won't be able to turn form around. Let's be honest, we've seen Fahim do it, right? So there is capabilities. There are horses. Sprinter Sacra did it. K2 Star lost to Denman, comes back and wins a Gold Cup, right? So we know that there are capabilities of horses, rejuvenating themselves. But the races that he's run, is it worth risking running in them? Because they're quite dangerous.
Yeah.
in some respects, more the national than it is the cross country, because the cross country, some of them you can walk through the fences. I don't even know if they're fences, it's just twigs.
Yeah, we said that the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch them run, the last fence, they don't actually jump anything. They kind of just, if they go quick enough, they'll go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they obviously like to aim it at the Grand National, which is a dangerous race, that they let to go on about. And for a horse that, again, it's catch-22, isn't it? You don't want to see it retire too early, but you also don't want the worst to happen because he's not enjoying racing.
Yeah.
So, again, like we said, this is not us making the decision, obviously. This is not us condemning them carrying it on racing, because I'd love to see him.
Yeah, well, we all would. We'd all love to see him.
You would just like to, just like to know that before they do make that decision, that they're sure that the racing burning desire is still there.
It's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Well, again, it's just my point of view. It's null and void in his career, what I think, and it is, but it's an opinion sport. Doesn't matter what anyone says. It is an opinion sport.
Yeah.
It's more a case of erring on the side of caution.
Jamie, you want to add anything?
Well, I did think about it and saying, definitely retire, because it just looked, watching that cross country, it just did not want it to know anything. It just sort of gave up, and the spark wasn't there. And even Robbie Power said, even riding him, he just wasn't there. That wasn't the actual Tiger role. I was really surprised. He was right up there. Everybody was right on the second circuit, and then all of a sudden he started shoveling coal at Tiger role to keep getting him interested. But it could be just one of them things. Obviously, Eddie O'Leary, he's made a statement to say, right, we're going to give him one more race, and if the spark's not there, then Paul stumps. All right, you've got to respect. You've got to think of the horse's welfare. If he's doesn't want to do it no more, then fair enough. Paul stumps up, and then give him a lovely retirement home.
Well, barring Deffy's mistake at the first, obviously he got pulled up at the last, which we were led to believe from Dickie that he just emptied very, very quickly. If Tiger had sort of got to the end and they felt the same, would you still feel the same, or is it because of how sort of quickly he pulled up or how early he pulled up?
I think I was quite. I wasn't surprised how quickly he was pulled up. I wasn't, because he was just wasn't that he wasn't there. It was just like he was just running on the spot.
Yeah,
with Deffy's, and I think with Deffy's a little bit different. I think because apparently that was his first run in so many 100 days.
Yeah. That's really what I'm driving at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would say it boils down as well when you compare the two. Right, if you listen to the post-match interviews by the jockeys, it's the attention to detail in the wording. Right, so Deffy was tired. You put that down to match fitness. Robbie Power said Tiger Roll seemed disinterested.
It's just like the spark wasn't there.
So there's a completely it's the terminology that these jockeys use, where if you depending on how you interpret it, one says that he was tired, so that's a match fitness. It's footballers are the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was the same thing with, and I don't know if it was some sort of the same thing where Red Rum finished second. And then all of a sudden he was going, well, he could be, his age is against him and everything. And then Ginger McCain just went, right, we're going to put him away, don't do too much, and then send him on. And then what happened? Everybody didn't want to back him, and he won his third Grand National. It's the same thing with Best Mate. With Best Mate, Henrietta Knight did exactly the same thing what she did year after year, give him 2 runs or 3 runs, and then go for the Gold Cup, which he did, and he won really well. So it's different. You're looking at different angles how the trainer's doing it. I think with Gordon Elliott, I think he's going to go. He'll be thinking of, right, I'm going to put him in a race in I don't know, not a chase, but a hurdle race. I reckon. Hurdle race, just to save his handicap mark. See how he does. If he's not interested, like on the second circuit, and that, he'll definitely go, right, put up stumps, right, send him to nice retirement home. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Let's
well
get
done.
on the next. Let's get on the next youngster.
Agree.
But you know what Giggins Town are doing, because we've all know, because they're trying to slow down. They're trying to close down their operation now.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. I don't know what Mark wants to know. What he thinks, Mark.
Go on,
Mark. First of all, I'd like to apologise to you, Sean. First of all, for the selection of Tiger Roll for me that I've done last week was more my heart wanted him to win. You know, it's before. There's just one question that I would want to ask you right now is that, you know, we know the records and what Tiger Roll has achieved. You know, as you say with that old saying, it's a small horse with a big heart. To me, it ran in the cross country at Cheltenham back in March. I thought it ran a pretty good race, a pretty clean race, but going by the form, Easy's Land was the younger horse and was the better horse on the day. You know, you can't deny that. Going into last week's race, you know, I was all over Tiger Roll. I was like, you know, my heart, my mind wants Tiger Roll. I thought, it's going to go on with the third Grand National. Hurrah. You know, it's all going to be amazing. That performance, I thought I made a clear-cut mistake. I really thought that a jockey change was going to be a change of tactics. It failed. But Robbie Power, I've watched the race probably 3 or 4 times over and just clearly, I didn't concentrate on any other horse but Tiger Roll. And to me, there was something not right from the very beginning. It just, I don't know if the horse just wasn't fully fit. I know it had obviously a long rest since the festival. And obviously with leaving fresher with not running in the national. But as Sean says, and kind of going off it, but Enable recently got retired. She was going for a third arc. She finished 6th, and that was it. It was like the decision was made. But there was a few races before that where she didn't win. And straight away, people was like, "Oh, is this the same Enable? Is this the same horse that we see?" Similar to what you just said about Deffy. Didn't perform, but it lost to a horse. Okay, got pulled up, but Put the Kettle On has only lost once over fences. Was a much fitter horse at that time, and preferred the ground conditions. But straight away got pulled up. Straight away on social media, should definitely be retired over one performance. You know,
and I thought that was a bit premature. There,
it's what like really bugs me a little bit when I think, you know, just going back to Enable, what she achieved in her career, you know, winning 11 Grade 1s, you know, like numerous races by a massive margin, you know, not forgetting King George victory against Crystal Ocean at Ascot, one of the most thrilling, exciting races I've ever seen. But Tiger Roll, when you're running a horse that is over 4 miles in distance, and you know, some of the fences are like, you know, are very daunting there. You've got 40 runners, you know, and compare Tiger Roll to some of the horses there. What he achieved is incredible. Sean, my question to you is that could Tiger Roll at 11 stone 12 go and win a third Grand National? Take away the form, take away how he's performed in the last couple of races. Can he go and win it at top weight?
Possible. Yeah, I would. Do you know what? It's tough, right? Because we've watched horses try and do it prior, and it is difficult. We know carrying that sort of weight around there is. The fear I have now is if they've already got concerns over the love for the race, putting around the Aintree course, if they've got that mindset, if they honestly believe that maybe that the spark's not there, like Jamie said, Robbie Powell's shoveling coal and they've still got a lap to go. If you do that at the National, he's not getting round off top weight, categorically. you lay him all day long or whatever price he's at. If that's the case, if that's the Tiger Roll that turns up, then no, he's not winning a third Grand National. You'll be lucky if he doesn't get pulled up.
I think if I was to make it easy, I think if I looked at it now, going by that performance, and not just that performance, because I think it's quite harsh just to do it on one performance of a racehorse, because we can't forget, Easy's Land didn't finish in the top 3, and that was a red hot favourite.
Did stay on though, to be fair.
It did stay on 100%, 100%. But if I looked at Tiger Roll, would I contemplate retirement? Yes. Would I retire Tiger Roll? No. Would I keep him wrapped up in bubble wrap until early next year? Yes. Would I target him for a third Grand National and give him a run out? Yes, I would. Like Sean said last week, and like what our little debate, he's got nothing
doesn't owe us
to prove. Nothing to prove. And if Tiger Roll goes to the Aintree next year and goes for a third Grand National, and as Jamie said, Red Rum comes second. There you go. Then comes back, proves it wrong, and wins a third Grand National.
Yeah, and I think he won it top weight on his third. I think.
Yes, and can Tiger Roll win a Grand National at 11 stone 12? My answer is anything's possible.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to end it there, lads, because we'll be all night. We'll be all night. We'll all run out of battery, and YouTube won't allow an upload of about 4 billion gig. So we'll call it a night. As you say, folks, some really brilliant racing to look forward to. Sean, do you want to quickly add something?
Yeah. What I want to know is, because we get a lot of regulars that watch this as well, I would love to know on the YouTube, below the comments, on what people's honest opinion are on Tiger Roll.
Yeah,
because we get a lot of people want to have their input. Everyone wants their 2 pence worth, but no one really says much, and no one wants to get into a debate. Well, that's the whole point.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to know what people think about it. I'm probably talking nonsense, but tell me.
No, quite. No, exactly. It's why we're doing it.
Anyway, I'll stop now.
We enjoy racing and we enjoy the debates. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah,
definitely.
Cool. Okay, then, boys. Well, like I say, plenty to keep an eye out for, and have a little look. And if you've got any other fancies, let us know and get them across to me, and we'll get them up on Twitter. And that will do us, then, and we'll see you again for another video shortly.
Lovely.
Lovely.
See you later, guys.
See you soon.
Yeah.